Hello fellow Helldivers, Thornton here, up at the top of Mount Elbert, the highest peak in Colorado at 14,385 feet. But today we are actually going to be talking about stratagems coming to the game. More specifically, what we could be expecting for Warbonds and to help us fight against the enemies more effectively. But without further ado, let's get into today's topic.
Hello fellow Helldivers, so I'm assuming most of you saw yesterday we got the announcement for the brand new premium Warbond known as Python Commandos, and it lets us know about some former leaks and also some stuff to look forward to. We're obviously getting 2 new armor sets, the Beast of Prey and Constructor, which I think both look fantastic, along with a new primary weapon called the ARGL-21. And most importantly though, the stratagems, well, we are finally getting that minigun. Arrowhead has delivered on it. Along with that, there's going to be the defoliation melee tool, which it looks like that is going to be the chain sword that we found that we were hoping was going to be for a Warhammer collaboration. Looks like this is what it is now for. And then there's going to be an anti-flam guard dog. There will also be your normal cosmetics and everything else like that. And this also means that the Redacted Regiment Stealth Warbond is either going to be delayed or it's no longer coming, because Arrowhead has had stuff like this happen in the movie before. Let me explain. The fact that Arrowhead did design a Warbond that was originally designed in the way that Helldivers 1 was, and the requisition included an XO-98 combat walker, which we have not seen yet, a light armored vehicle stratagem for the CV-284M, which could be the FRV, and then an AD-34 guard dog backpack as well. However, this one we don't know if it's still going to come into the game or if it was just scrap content altogether. Now, along with that, there is a shoulder mounted camera in the game files. As you can see here, we don't know too much about it, but thanks to Asunder, we actually know that in the recent update, there was a new type of mission objective added in called Gather Footage, which is pretty interesting. And if you don't know, this is definitely a homage to Starship Troopers, which this game is very heavily inspired on. Another interesting factor about that is when asked about what collabs would we see in the near future, Johan actually drew the line, and on the left side of the line is Killzone and Halo, which have now come into the game. However, the other two are Warhammer 40k, and also Starship Troopers. And since we are getting a Clendath 2 event in the very near future, I wonder if Starship Troopers is becoming more and more likely now that the camera objective, which is a homage to that movie/book, is in the game files, and if that is going to be what their plan is for the next legendary Warbond. Another one that I think would be pretty interesting is, well, we do know about the Orbital Illumination Flare. It's this thing right up here. It's supposed to illuminate planets when they get very, very dark. Now, I think this is a very long shot, but I would love to actually see Pitch Black, that old 90s movie with Vin Diesel. It's one of my favorite cult classic sci-fi movies, and it would be really cool to see something like that actually get tied in, but I think we're probably pretty far away from that. But in terms of new weaponry and stratagems, we've seen a lot of the ones that were leaked and data mined in the past actually come into the game. There was actually this list right here that was added in a patch, and then you also see the displacement backpack, which is that warp gate one that we actually have. Funny enough, the orbital illumination flares there, a laser guided missile launcher is also listed, a cover grenade launcher, which actually came to the game as well, and then a fire grenade launcher at the very top. So those are some stratagems, but tier 5 NPC actually gave us a whole list of stuff that's actually found in the files, and some of these are pretty interesting. I don't think a lot of you have heard about them. We haven't really covered them on the channel, and one of them is actually a munitions type. That's where we're going to start with sleep darts. We actually have gameplay that you can see on the screen right here that he showed us, and according to him, this type of ammunition makes the enemy shot by it very sleepy and confused, similar to flashbang grenade, however in the form of dart bullet. The dart does deal 0 damage, but it puts the enemy stuck by it out of combat for 10 seconds. The effect does not stack with the amount of darts. If a mob is struck by 1 dart bullet, the effect will start after 2 seconds and last for 10 seconds. However, the dart bullet does not affect Bile Titans or Hulks, however it works for all of them under them, including automatons, which is actually kind of interesting, if I'm being honest. I guess they do sleep. The dart or bullet is restricted only to secondary weapons such as the Peacekeeper, so this seems to be a munition type adjustment that we can go ahead and make to our weapons in a future loadout. There's also something he found called rad rounds, and I'm going to go ahead and play some of the gameplay right here. And this is a biohazard chemical bullet that explodes into toxic waste upon impact, dealing radiation. Now, apparently, according to him, there are 2 types of rounds regarding rad. There's a 5.5 by 50 millimeter, which are the rifle, 12 by 25 millimeter, which are SMGs, and 15 by 100 millimeter shells, which are normally tied to anti-tank eats, and the recoilless, which would mean that there would be a heavy radiation shell, most likely aimed to be used against elite enemies, which would be actually pretty interesting against the Hive Lords that were recently introduced. I could see this actually being very, very fun and a great way to go ahead and take them out. You also let us know about fire rounds, and we definitely have covered that on this channel. I'll go ahead and play some of the gameplay right here, but yeah, we've already seen this with the Coyote and other weapons come in. These are restricted only to assault rifles, most likely as a balancing aim, given shotguns already have their own variants, and secondaries are not the primary focus for your main self-defense. There's also armor-piercing rounds that you can see on screen right here. It's a high-caliber round aimed to shatter and penetrate enemy armors. Usually one taps any mob not equipped with medium or heavy armor. It takes 1 full mag dump 1 to a common charger, assuming you hit the same general area of the head with all the bullets, 2 for a behemoth, and 4 for a titan, and can generally 5 to 7 shot a berserker and a scout strider. Now, he also let us know about some new upcoming stratagems, and this one we've actually talked about. It's the fire grenade launcher. It was in that stratagem we just listed, but here's some gameplay of it on screen. It's a grenade launcher equipped with highly flammable explosive rounds that set it ablaze everything it blows up. It can also close bug holes and fabricators, just like any other grenade launcher. Then there's a stun grenade launcher, which is great for crowd control when enemies bunch up. However, you can easily stun yourself alongside the enemy, and friendly fire is definitely going to be a problem with this. And we've seen a lot of turrets and sentries come in. The laser one, I think, was the most recent one added, if I'm correct. There's also a fire Gatling sentry that he's showing off right here. It works as the current one in your armory. The only difference being is it sets things on fire, including you, because everything in this game has friendly fire. And that's a big list of the stratagems and munitions that he was able to show us. But let's take a look at some of the stratagems that have been leaked that we haven't actually seen come to the game that could be for a future Warbond. That there are going to be stratagems and tac packs. He let us know that there's going to be this medical pack right here, which is a stim variant of the supply pack. Along with that, there's going to be bombs, which we've definitely gone over on this channel before. It's a wide range Razmot with an entire area of 200 kilogram bombs. Also a 10,000 kilogram atomic bomb, which can wipe out an entire large nest in one shot. However, you're going to die with it unless, you get really far really fast. Also going to be a shrapnel mine, but, people aren't really big fans of mines. Along with that, there are going to be Hive Elites he let us know come in. This is a Dust Devil priority target. Dust Devil is going to be a new planetary effect that comes in, like a little mini tornado. There's also a mutated Hive Bile Titan that you can see here. Remember, these are just icons that are in the game files right now, so it's not a great look at them. It's just the icons that let us know what's coming. Singe, a golden dagger reskin, gas grenade, AT grenade, and missile pointer, and I'll play those right now so you guys can get a first-hand look at some of the weapons coming into the game.
Tactical asset near your location.
Let me know down below, what are your guys' thoughts on some of the stratagems you saw, and what one would you like to see come to the game next, and which one do you think will be the most powerful against new enemy types? Also, don't forget to check out this video right here where I cover more news on Helldivers on the daily, and until next time everyone, thanks for stopping by. Keep spreading managed democracy.